Okay, we are going to continue some of the footwork that we've been doing and understanding how the arches in the feet play into the whole mechanics of the body. But one of the first things we have to look at is the relationship of the feet to the knees all the way up to the hips. Because the feet have what are called 3 degrees of freedom, or the ankles at least, feet in combination with the foot. We have flexion and extension. We have supination and pronation. Did I get it reversed? Yeah, pronation and supination. And then we have internal and external rotation, but that involves, unfortunately, the knee and the tibial bones. Then we have all the way up in the hip, it has true flexion and extension. It has abduction and adduction, and it has true internal and external rotation. So what's interesting is in between these two joints that have 3 degrees of freedom is a joint that only has 1 degree of freedom. And what even makes it more interesting is that is the largest joint in the body. So it's meant to do one thing and do that one thing very well, and that's flex and extend, and that's all it should do. So the goal is to get the information we feel against the ground to shoot through this binary switch, which is just on or off, flex or extended, and send that work up into your hips, which can manage it. But if the feet aren't getting the information, then now the knees have to guess, and then we're prone towards knee injuries, or we get hip injuries, or we have to lock up the hips and we start getting low back injuries. So that's why we're going to work on the feet, because the feet are essential in deriving the information, but immediately transferring it through to your hips. So we're going to start out with stance. Feet are going to be parallel, hips width apart. Here's your ASIS, here's your pubic symphysis. Midway in between is hips width apart. So it's a lot more narrow than you think. Then we're going to push down big toe on the corresponding metatarsal heads. Outer 4 toes and the corresponding metatarsal heads, but especially that pinky toe, and finally your heel. 1/3 the weight's going to be through the balls of your feet, 1/3 the weight through your toes, and finally 1/3 the weight through your heels. That means 66% of the weight is forward as you slightly bend your knees and you turn your knees out. So that means, yes, we are more on our toes. We're going to bend those knees to create that athletic ready posture. So the knees are bending, so the lower half of our body are springs, upper half of our body is elongated, and then it's going to open up the head to the righting reflex of being able to be responsive to the environment. Suck in your tummies. First chakra, your pelvic floor fires up. Second chakra, your lower abs. Third chakra, your upper abs, all fire up as your head goes over the top of your pelvic floor. We're going to do a little bit of squatting here. You're going to squat and come back up. You're going to notice what feels tight. You might feel your calves, you might feel your quads, and you might feel your butt. What you shouldn't feel are your knees. Your knees shouldn't be feeling anything. Your toes shouldn't feel anything, because we're working muscles and we're not working joints. Just warm everything up, just see what this feels like. Keep your head over the top of your pelvic floor, keep your abs engaged. Notice when things want to shut off, and then turn them back on again. Keep breathing. Smiles are up. And good, now you're going to stand with your legs straight. We're going to do a hip circle. Every athletic motion is hidden in a hip circle. That's why we practice hip circles. If you can't do a completed hip circle, you are compensating somewhere. And typically it's going to be in a place that shouldn't do it, like your low back or your knees, because your feet and your hips aren't getting it done. Try not to move your head. That's the righting reflex. We hold the head still as we go in the opposite direction. Abs are nice and tight. Just see how everything feels. We will definitely reassess this. Keep breathing. Keep your core engaged. Keep your butt relaxed. Okay, good. Now you're going to take this ball and you're going to put the ball under the ball of your foot on the left. You're going to drop your heel down. You can have the roller for some stability and balance, but on a whole, it's just there for help. It's not doing the work. Abs are nice and tight. Your feet are parallel. We're going to start out knees going in the same direction. Abs are nice and tight. You're sucking your tummy. You're going to pump your hips forward. Just feel the lengthening of your gastrocnemius, that's your calf muscle. And just notice what breathing feels like. Smiles are up. Okay. Then we're gonna do a basic. We're gonna step forward, step back, hips back. You have to be able to do this so if your heel suddenly drops down, you don't have to slam your face into the ground, which is a very much a reality. Suck in your tummy. Pretty much if you see someone with scars on their face and they told you that they fell, their heel dropped down. Keep your feet parallel even when it's in the rear. Whoops, especially if it's in the rear. Careful if that ball is trying to get away from you. And good. Now, we're gonna do something. You're gonna try to pop the ball. You're gonna do it first with the ball of your foot. You're just crushing down. You're not using your toes, just the ball of your foot. Because we're exercising the function of the ball of the foot and the connection to the ball of foot. And now, good. You're gonna now push down with your toes. You're gonna try to curl your toes and try to pop the ball with your toes now. Very different set of muscles as you'll feel. These will get the extensor muscles. Or sorry, flexor muscles, flexor digitorum. Just keep pushing down. Make sure the pinky toe's working too. And good, staying on top of the ball. We shall now go into a squat again. Squat down, come up. You should feel muscles now, and if your legs should be kind of achy feeling because you've activated muscles instead of joints. Suck in that tummy. And good, we're switching sides now. Ooh. Ball goes under the ball of your foot. On this side, abs are nice and tight. Oh my goodness, I forgot what we did. We started out by pumping our hips forward. Abs are nice and tight. Suck in that tummy. Feel what it feels like on this side. Keep your feet parallel. Shoulder blades are down and back. Abs are on. First, second, third chakra. Keep breathing. Feel the lengthening of this side, gastrocnemius. Jaws relaxed. Just feel what that feels like to open up. There should be no pressure in your back. If you feel pressure in your back, it means your abs have shut off. Keep your abs engaged as you now step forward, step back, hips back. Keep breathing, suck in that tummy. Smiles are up. Notice what your balance feels like. Don't let that ball get away from you. Once again, this is to prevent you from falling on your face. Suck in that tummy. Good. Now, in this position, you're going to have your feet parallel once again as you now try to pop the ball with the ball of your foot only. Not your toes, the ball of your foot. So some people tend to overuse their toes. Some people tend to use the ball of their foot without their toes. You're going to use, right now, just the ball of your foot. Abs are nice and tight. You're sucking in your tummy. Shoulder blades are down and back. Okay, good. Now you're going to crush down with your toes, like you're trying to pop the ball with your toes now. Suck in that tummy. And good. Now we're going to squat. You're squatting down and then coming back up. Again, this leg should be a little bit fatigued because we activated muscles. We don't want to feel the knee joint. We don't want to feel the back. We don't want to feel ankle or foot. We want to feel muscles. This is stretching out the soleus muscle, a deeper calf muscle. And good. Go ahead and stand on 2 feet. See how everything feels like now. Stance should feel different. You should feel much easier to get into your forefoot and that weight forward feeling. Abs are nice and tight, shoulder blades are down and back. We're gonna do a hip circle. Notice how much easier it is to do a hip circle now that we opened up the calves and the feet. Smiles are up. And like I said, it's a relationship between your calves and your feet. And we're gonna open that relationship back up again. Go in the opposite direction. Just notice how different it feels to do this hip circle having opened up your calves. Good. We're gonna grab a block. Oh, there they are. You're gonna put that block under the ball of your foot now. We're gonna work some mechanics of the feet. So you're gonna lower your heel down, lift your heel up. Lower your heel down, lift your heel up. Abs are nice and tight, you're sucking in your tummy. See what it feels like to go full range of motion. Keep your knee over the top of your foot. Most important part, so don't let your knee go out or in. Don't let your ankle blow out. It is right over the top of that first metatarsal head, even though all the other toes are participating. Abs are nice and tight, suck in that tummy. And then keep your heel as high as you possibly can. Abs are nice and tight, you're gonna squat down and come back up. Feel what it feels like to activate your core as you're using your legs. You're locking up your calf, so that should transfer work immediately to your quad and your butt. No pressure in your knee or your hip or low back. Suck in that tummy. And then you're gonna curl your toes around. So your toes are curled under. Abs are nice and tight. Same thing, we're gonna do squats. 9 and 10. Okay, staying in the squatted position, you're just gonna push forward and then pull your hips back. Push forward, hips back. Abs are nice and tight. Suck in your tummy. This is different than a squat. You're moving your hips. It's stretching out your feet. And good. We're gonna switch sides. Again, on this side, same thing. We're gonna lift and lower our heel. The work's primarily over that first metatarsal head. Watch the alignment of your knee. Make sure that knee stays over the top of your foot and it doesn't go out, it doesn't go in, or there's no ankle instability. Abs are nice and tight. You're sucking in your tummy. Eight, 9, 10. Stay high as we now squat. Suck in that tummy, keep your core on. Shoulder blades are down and back. No pressure in your knee, ankle, foot, toes, or low back. We're working muscles. Okay, you're gonna curl your toes the opposite direction. Abs are nice and tight. Suck in that tummy. Core protects your extremities. Squat again. 8, and 9, and then 10. Okay, hips forward, hips back. Suck in that tummy, keep your abs engaged. Abs are engaged, smiles are up, and good. Once again, feel what standing feels like as we change our relationship with the feet. Okay, we're gonna step back onto the block. You're gonna hang your big toe off the side of the block. Your second toe is on the block. Your feet are parallel. Abs are nice and tight. We're gonna work with balance. You're just gonna step up, step down. Abs are engaged. Not a big deal, but you don't get your big toe. It happens in life. You're hiking and your big toe doesn't make traction. You have to still be able to complete the step. 10. Okay, now we're going to take that pinky toe off the edge of the block. This one happens more than you think. The little toe is more important than we ever thought. And you'll see, as soon as we do this, let that little toe hang off the edge as you step up, step back. You're gonna see you need a lot of core connection to make this happen. And that little toe gives a lot of signaling to your abs and your balance. And so losing it is devastating. If you don't believe me, don't use a roller for 1 or 2 and see how much harder it is to balance. Different, huh? Okay, good. Then you're gonna drop your heel off the end, so you're only on the ball of your foot. You're gonna notice this is a familiar feeling. This is what we do to go upstairs. Keep your feet parallel, keep your abs engaged. Don't let any work go into your low back. Good. Now you're going to drop your whole ball of your foot off the end of the block. You're going to be on your heel. And initially this sort of feels stable and it sort of feels easy. But what I want you to really feel for is how much work goes into your joint because you're walking through your heel. There's a lot of pressure in your knee. Your job is to pull it into your quad and into your butt, even though it allows you to turn everything off. 9 and 10. We're switching sides. We're going to start with the big toe hanging off the edge of the block. Abs are nice and tight. You're sucking your tummy. Feet are parallel. You're just going to step up, step down. Soft landing, very important. Keep your abs engaged. Smiles are up. Okay, we're going to switch to the outside. Your pinky toe goes off the edge. Really, once again, notice how it really affects your balance and how integral that little toe is. Sucking that tummy. We're working with the points of the tripod of the foot. That's why this feels so strange. Okay, good. Put your foot back on the block, drop your heel off the end of the block. You're mainly on the ball of your foot. This is the most familiar feeling because this is how we use it. Abs. Make sure it's going in the major muscles like your butt, your quad, and your calf. Okay, and then take your ball of your foot off the end of the block. Abs are nice and tight. You're going to step up, step down. Notice how easy it is to put the work in your joint. Pull it out of the joint, pull it into your quad, pull it into your butt. Whoa. Hold your balance. Abs are nice and tight. There's very, very little balance off the heels. Good. See how everything feels? We're going to start again. We're going to have our big toe hanging off the edge of the block. Abs are nice and tight. Your right leg goes back behind you straight. Your knees over the top of your foot. Your abs are engaged. Shoulder blades are down and back. Remember, big toes hanging off the edge. We're going to work your butt now. I want you to tighten your core. We're going to hinge forward. Chest goes up. Abs nice and tight. I want you to feel that you feel major muscle groups. Calves, quads, butt. No low back, no knee, no foot. Shoulder blades are down and back, abs are nice and tight. We're doing sit-ups first, suck in your tummy, and then relax. Suck in your tummy, relax. Just feel what it feels like to be able to suck in that tummy. Nine, 10. Now that your tummy's in, here's where we start. Keep the front knee bent. You're doing work from your butt and your quad. You're going to hinge forward, come back up. Abs are nice and tight. You're sucking in that tummy. Your smiles are up. Keep breathing. And 10. Good. We're going to take our pinky toe off the edge of the block now. Abs are nice and tight. Notice again what balance feels like. Get that pinky toe activated. Suck in that tummy. Shoulder blades are down and back. We're going to hinge forward and come back up. All this is for your feet because we have to get major muscle groups working to get the information from your feet. Good. All right. The heel comes off the end of the block. You're on the ball of your foot again. Rear leg is straight. Knee is over top of your foot. You're sucking in your tummy as we continue. This one should be the most familiar. This is our work posture. If you can't activate this, you're pretty lazy during the day and you don't do enough work in your lower extremities. Suck in your tummy. Smiles are up. 10. Good. Okay, take your ball of your foot off the end of the block. You're only on your heel. Leg goes back behind you. You would technically never do this, but we're going to practice it because in case. Knees over top of your foot. Abs are nice and tight, sucking your tummy. Here we go. Keep breathing. Notice how difficult this is. If you do this correctly, it should actually be a pretty good butt workout. That's why bodybuilders tend to work off their heels because they know how to use muscles correctly, so they know how to use this little physiological trick. And good. We're going to switch sides. So the goal is to get the work and energy of your feet to your butt as quickly as possible, and that's what we're doing is we're creating different scenarios in your feet and then pulling the energy to your hips. Big toes hanging off the end of the block. Oops, I gotta move over. Feel what it feels like to have that big toe non-functional and relying on the outer four toes. So activate those outer four toes. We're gonna start with our sit-ups. Stick your butt out. Knee is over the top of your foot. You're gonna suck in your tummy and release. Suck in your tummy and release. Abs are nice and tight. Shoulder blades are down and back. Chest is up. Smiles are up. You guys are doing awesome. Feel your butt working. Feel your abs working. Like I said, there is a good chance we're starting live classes again in August at Prisma Dance, which is in Aikahi. And here we go. Keeping that big toe off. Here we go. We're gonna lean forward, come back up. No pressure in your back, no pressure in your knee, no pressure in your feet. You should be in major muscle groups, your calves, your quad, or your butt, abs, and even lats. Suck that tummy in. Good. Now you're going to take your pinky toe off the edge of the block. Notice how much work this is required because you don't have your little toe. Your balance is kind of screwy too. Abs are nice and tight. It's because your little toe signals your outer four toes. Abs, here we go. Hinge forward, then come back up. And your outer four toes signal your abs and your hips. Eight, 9, 10. Good. Take your heel off the end of the block. Rear leg is straight still. Knees over top of your foot. Okay, here we go. We're hinging forward. We're breathing. You should feel your butt working. Good. Now Now you're gonna take the ball of your foot off the front of the block. Take your foot back behind you. Abs are nice and tight. Toes are totally relaxed. Abs are nice and tight. Shoulder blades are down and back. Knees over top of your foot. Once again, we're gonna hinge. You should feel your butt working. You should feel your hamstring working. You should feel your quad working. You should not feel any joints working. And like I said, working through the heels, if you do it properly, actually activates more muscles. But you have to do it properly, like we're doing it right now. Suck in that tummy. Further forward, Annie. Nine and 10. Good. So for the most part, we've worked the foot in neutral. Now we're going to change the two positions. We're going to lift the heel up high. You're going to be on high heel in the front. Okay? Abs are nice and tight. You're going to take that foot back behind you. You're going to stay in high heel. You're going to hold on to this roller too. High heel, high heel. Both legs are in high heels. Rear leg is straight. Rear leg is straight. Abs are nice and tight. You're sucking your tummy. We're going to hinge forward and come back up. Keep the heel high on that front foot. You should feel your butt working extra especially hard. And that's why if you do proper mechanics, you will always work your butt. And as your butt gets flabbier and flabbier and you're wondering why, it's just you've lost mechanics. Okay, now you're gonna let your heel drop down, drop below the level of the block, almost touching the ground, but not. Knees over top of your foot, same thing again. Suck in that tummy. Notice how when your heel's down, it's easy to go into your back, it's easy to go into joints. Keep everything engaged. Abs, smiles. Good, let's switch sides. We're gonna go into high position, high heel. Keep it high, don't let it drop down. Knees over top of your foot, legs back behind you, high heel, high heel. Abs are nice and tight, we're gonna hinge forward and then come back up. Suck in that tummy. Make sure you're primarily on that first metatarsal head, the big toe knuckle. Two more. 1, 2. Okay, drop your heel down. Your heel's gonna go below the level of the block, almost touching the ground, knees over top of your foot. Remember, we're trying to use muscles, so tighten everything up, and we're gonna hinge forward, do it again. Good. We switch sides. All this for the feet. Isn't this crazy? We have to use other parts of the body to get the feet to work. Isn't that interesting? We're going to go into high heel in the front. Once again, abs are nice and tight. You're going to go into squat. So that's weird. High heel, bent knee, abs tight, chest up. This is why not everyone loves running. Shoulder blades are down and back. We're going to do a momentum-based work. We're going to lift your right knee above the level of your hip. You're going to have it followed with the left hand. You're just going to run. Keep that heel high. Your head doesn't move. Suck in that tummy. You should feel muscles, not joints. Excellent. Drop your heel down. This is a nightmare case where you're running along and suddenly your heel drops down. You can still run. Abs are nice and tight, sucking your tummy. Try not to move your head all over the place. We're activating that riding reflex. Good job. We're switching sides. Okay, high heel. Lower down into a squat. Abs are nice and tight. You're sucking your tummy. We're doing cardio if you haven't noticed. Chest is up, shoulder blades are down and back. Here we go. Knee to chest, knee to chest. Abs are on. No pressure into any joint. We're using muscles. Watch that balance. Knee to chest. Okay. Drop that heel below the level of block. Abs are nice and tight. Suck in that tummy. Here we go. Same thing. Chest up. Good posture. That includes you, Pome. I saw you in the background. Okay, good. Go ahead and stand. We're going to reestablish good stance, good posture. Your feet are parallel. You're going to feel your muscles now, especially in the lower extremities, because we're now more towards athletic ready. You're going to feel your core kick on, shoulder blades go down and back. We're going to try that hip circle again. See how much easier it is to suck in your tummy as you're doing the hip circle this time around? Opposite direction. Very good, everyone. You're going to put your knee on top of the block. Left knee, right foot forward. Head over the top of the block. Very, very important. Abs are nice and tight. You're going to do your hip circles, hip circles, hip circles, hip circles. Suck in that tummy. Hello! Opposite direction. Just see what it feels like to move through that hip. Suck in that tummy. So you can feel how this is now becoming more of a sit-up because of everything that we did. We're going to stretch out your hip flexors. Just go forward, stretch, and then come back. Each time go a little bit deeper. I'm talking like millimeters deeper, not like big lunge deeper like you're trying to tear things off the bone. Just little stretches. Keep your abs engaged. No pressure in your low back. Okay, we're gonna go to our maximum forward position. Your abs are nice and tight. We're gonna do sit-ups here. Suck in your tummy, tighten them as hard as you can, and you should feel the pressure shift more into your hip flexor. And then do it again, suck it in. And this is what the abs are supposed to do. It's supposed to access energy from your hip flexor. So you'll feel the stress increase because this is time under tension into the hip flexor because the abs are stabilizing. You may even feel pressure all the way down to your knees because it's pulling on that rectus femoris muscle, and that's okay. And good, come back up. You're gonna reach back, grab that foot behind you. You're gonna pull your heel to your butt. And I mean really pull it to your butt. Abs are nice and tight, and then you're gonna stretch forward. Same thing, we're gonna do sit-ups. Suck in your tummy. Suck in your tummy. Deepen that stretch into that rectus femoris. Smiles are up. Heads up. Good mechanics. Hips forward. Good. And then you're going to release that leg. You're going to take your front leg out in front of you straight. Have it cross midline. Then you're going to stretch forward with your left hand. Your right hand goes back behind you. Like you're going ta-da as you're running across the stage, sucking your tummy. Keep breathing, suck in that tummy. We're doing sit-ups. Suck it in, release, suck it in, release. Smiles are up and release. And good. We're gonna switch sides. You're on your right knee now, your left foot is forward, abs are nice and tight, head is going to be over top of the block, and you're going to try to keep it there as we do hip circles once again. should feel a whole lot easier. This makes me so happy to feel so much more connected to the abs as we do this hip circle because we did the preliminary work. Opposite direction. And 10. Okay, we're gonna stretch forward, stretch, stretch, stretch. We're opening up this rectus femoris and the hip flexors. Now we're gonna do sit-ups, sucking that tummy as hard as you can. See if you can transfer the work into your quad muscle and your hip flexors and out of your low back just by tightening your abs. Like I said, this is time under tension. And we're shifting the tension to where it needs to be. Stay pushing forward as far as you can. And we're just gonna pump a little pump. Try to deepen it each time. We're talking millimeters, not gigantic steps. Kind of mixed up the order, but you get it. You'll get all the benefits of the other side. Suck in the tummy. Stay forward, abs nice and tight. You're gonna do your sit-ups again, since I screwed it up. Suck it in. Really try to change the shape of your abdomen. Good. And now we're gonna turn to the side, or I'm gonna turn to the side. You stay forward. We're gonna reach back, grab that leg back behind you, pull your heel to your butt as deeply as you can. We're gonna push forward. We're gonna stretch. Abs are nice and tight. You're gonna suck in your tummy, release. Push those hips forward, suck in your tummy, release. Really try to get your heel to your butt. Suck in your tummy and release. Whoa, stretch it. Push those hips forward more. Just like you did on the other side. Notice if one side's clearly easier than the other side, that's creating muscular imbalance, which creates an unintentional limp. Okay. And good. Go ahead, release that leg. You're gonna straighten the front leg, take it across midline. Gonna reach forward with your right hand, your left hand goes back, chest opens up. You're gonna do a lunging twist. Keep breathing. Suck in that tummy. Eight, 9, 10. Good job. You're gonna come into kneeling now. Just see what things feel like after all that we've done. We're continuing some of our footwork in this position in conjunction with a major muscle group, which is your quads. We're also getting a little bit what's called the tibialis anterior. You're gonna lean back. Your toes are pointed. You're gonna suck in your tummy and then release. So we're making that ab connection to protect every joint along the way. This should also deepen the stretch around your knees. Suck in that tummy, release. And that's what a big influence your abs have on stabilizing the knees. I'm gonna say that again. That is how much influence tightening your abs and connecting to your core will stabilize your knees. Can you feel that pull each time you tighten your abs? Because if you can't, you're not tightening your abs enough, or you're not leaned back far enough. Okay, we're gonna take a step further as you take your knees up off the ground and continue to do the same thing. Knees off the ground. Okay, and if you can do it, we're gonna go even further. Abs are nice and tight. This is for Annie. You're sucking in your tummy and releasing, sucking in your tummy, releasing. Suck it in, release, suck it in. There you go. Okay, now we're gonna go the opposite direction. You're gonna curl your toes under. If you feel excessive pressure in those metatarsal heads, it is time for you to push your heels back to open up your plantar fascia and these guys, calf muscles and Achilles tendon. Okay, we're gonna push back into this position too. Chest is up. Notice how your back wants to arch, don't let it arch. Instead, suck in your tummy and release. Suck in your tummy and release. Keep those knees together. Once again, you're gonna feel tightness around your knees, which is good because that's your abs stabilizing your knees. When you look at downhill skiing and sports like that where you have a lengthened lever arm of the foot, it should be more knee injuries. The reason why you don't see as many knee injuries as you could in a sport with something that's designed like that is a connection to the abs. And that's how come when I work with people that blew out their knee skiing or doing something similar, we're always working on ab stabilization. Good. Okay, from here, we're gonna go into a child's pose. You're gonna go forward because that was a lot of arch on some people's backs, especially if their abs are not strong yet. Suck in that tummy. See what this feels like. Let me get the microphone out of the way. You guys keep doing your child's pose. We're gonna do some ab work. We're gonna do half of what we usually do. We'll do it more completely next week. You're gonna need a block behind your shoulder blades, a roller under your head, and the ball behind your back, okay? So it will look like this. First, put your shoulders against the block, boom. Then your head's against the block, so you're just elevated like this, like you're resting. Then you're gonna lift your butt up, and then you can put the ball behind your belly button. It's a fancy way of saying your navel, or your umbilicus. Your feet are parallel, or if you're from England, umbilicus. Feet are parallel, knees are bent. We're gonna do sit-ups here. You're gonna do the sit-ups without using your butt. You're gonna see how tempting it is to use your butt. We're gonna use your abs. We're gonna pump our tail up and then down. Suck in your tummy, shoulder blades are down and back. You're not using your chest at all. You're not using your neck because everything's supported and stabilized. Keep breathing. There should be no pain in your back. If you feel pain in your back, it means you need to tighten your abs even more. This is a movement happening from second chakra, third chakra is closed up, and first chakra, your pelvic floor is activated. Okay, we're gonna add dimensions to this as your hips go off to the right, to the center, off to the left, center. Just go side to side. Keep your feet parallel. Know what your feet are doing. Keep all of your toes down. Keep your pelvic floor on. Remember, I have said that the pelvic floor and the bottoms of the feet are related. So as you start getting funky toe syndrome, you're starting to get pelvic floor instability. Keep breathing. Okay, now we're gonna go up into the right, up and to the left. You're basically making the other half of the X. Keep breathing. Wolfie's over at the top of my head, out of the frame of the shot, snoring. I don't know if your guys can hear that. Okay, go ahead, straighten both legs. We're gonna continue doing the sit-ups. This is gonna teach you to have your hips over, or so your torso over the top of your hips. Abs are nice and tight. You have a slight extension. Your butt's relaxed. Your quads are on. Shoulder blades are down and back. You're gonna suck in your tummy and try to pop the ball. This is creating body shape. It's contouring your body. Keep doing it. Try not to use your toes. Try not to use your kneecaps. You're using major muscles. You're keeping your butt nice and relaxed the whole time. Okay, bend your knees. Ball goes underneath your sacrum. Your feet come off the ground. Abs are nice and tight. We're gonna continue to do sit-ups. Suck in your tummy. Suck it in. Try to keep your butt relaxed. You'll see it's super easy because your butt is in a position that can't be used. but it means you could accidentally use your neck. Don't use your neck. Keep sucking your tummy in. You're activating your abs, trying to round your spine. And then you're gonna bring your knees to the right, knees to the left. Try to keep your upper body stable and keep the work through your core. You're working your obliques now. And feet to the ground. Woohoo! That can be quite difficult. Okay? Ball stays underneath your sacrum as your legs go up into the air. Just got a lot harder. Abs are nice and tight. You're sucking in your tummy. We're doing sit-ups again. You're not lifting your body up. You're just causing your abs to go closer to your spine. Make sure both halves of your abs are working. Both obliques and your rectus abdominis. And then here we go. You're gonna twist slightly to your heels to the right, heels to the left as you tighten your abs. You should feel your internal obliques working. Those are the ones that make your lower belly flat. Don't use your neck and shoulders. And feet back down on the ground. Your legs are gonna go straight again. We're gonna find out if you use your hip flexors or not. If you're sore right here, it means you use your hip flexors. If your low back sore, it means you use your psoas. But if you're sore here and over here, that means you used your abs, and that's a good thing. We're gonna finish out our sit-ups here. Squeeze your shoulder blades down and back. Your toes are pointed straight up like your feet are parallel. And now you're gonna just tighten your abs and release. Tighten and release. Don't clench your butt. Okay, bend your knees, lift your butt up, take the ball out from beneath your back, and you're just gonna stretch. We're gonna push your heart forward. We all slouch a little too much these days. Too much is going on. So it causes our heart to drop, but we need to stay open to inspiration and joy. So in order to do that, you have to keep your heart out. So feel what it feels like to push your heart. And I always tell people, you want your heart to cross the finish line first, not your head. Because that means you ran with passion and inspiration. You run with your head, you're running with intellect and fact. The difference between intellect and fact and inspiration and joy is the difference between a great novel and a textbook. Abs are nice and tight. You're gonna roll off the block and the roller and you're gonna come back up to kneeling. I want you to see what you feel like now. We're just gonna finish out this last part by doing some pelvic floor work. Ball is on top of the block. You're gonna have a seat on top of the ball that's on top of the block. The block's midway between your pubic bone and your tailbone. Chest is up, shoulder blades are down and back. We're gonna squeeze the ball with our pelvic floor. Squeeze it, squeeze it, squeeze it, squeeze it. As you do, we're gonna add second chakra. We're gonna close up third chakra. Our head is over the top of the ball. It's not out in front, it's over top of the ball. If it's out in front, you look like a turtle, don't look like a turtle. Smiles are up, shoulder blades are down and back. Squeeze, release, squeeze, release. We're creating contour of our body, we're creating upright posture, and we're connecting that elongation and athletic ready posture because look, your quads your legs are bent, acting as springs. Your abs are stabilizing and elongating your torso. So we're in athletic ready posture. Squeeze, release, squeeze, release, squeeze, release. This is what we're going to be working on for a moment. Squeeze, release, squeeze, release. Hands go behind your head. Keep your shoulders down and back, abs nice and tight. You're going to suck in your tummy and then extend back. Suck in your tummy, extend back. In fact, there's no point where your abs shut off. These are sit-ups too. But You're gonna focus on one more detail. You're gonna keep that pelvic floor on, and you're gonna fight the temptation of clenching your butt. Don't clench your butt. If you do, you will feel what feels like side aches coming on. If you don't, you won't feel anything. You will feel your tailbone being irritated. That's why we're in the middle of our pelvic floor and not underneath our tailbone. Okay, arms come to your sides. You're gonna twist, 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 twist. Twist, twist, twist your torso, but not your head. And then go faster. Fast, 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 fast. Abs are nice and tight. Suck in your tummy. You should feel your hips moving. That's good. 4, 3, 2, 1. Both feet come forward. Hands and stick them up. Chest is up. You're gonna bounce, 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 bounce on the ball. You're breathing. You're smiling. There you go. How can you not be happy doing this? Suck in that tummy. This is all about core stabilization. We're working ballistically your pelvic floor. This is so you can run, laugh, cough without peeing in your pants. It's always concerning when I hear a 30-year-old tell me that they're afraid to do something because they're afraid to pee in their pants. That's a weak pelvic floor, and it is also the relationship to the feet. So they have weak arches in the feet. Okay, hands on your knees. We're gonna come up into our athletic ready resting posture. Spine is straight, knees are bent, pelvic floor is on, third chakra is closed up, second chakra is on. Just recovering blood pressure. And this is why we go in this position after we do something exertional. We're trying to get back to athletic ready posture and recover. Okay, we're gonna make our way to the ground. I said we'd stretch the quads today, we are going to. You're gonna sit at the very tip of your roller. Chest is up, abs are nice and tight. You can have blocks ready in case you're on the tighter side. You're gonna take your left foot forward. And you're gonna lean back. You're gonna lean back only as far as it feels comfortable. Keep your butt towards the tip of the roller. And if this is as far as you get, wonderful. If you could go back further, great. If you can go all the way down, that's nice. Nothing's better than the other. It's where you're at in the moment. If you're on the super tight side, you can keep your foot down, but if you want to get a deeper stretch, you could cross your ankle over the top of your knee, left ankle over the top of right knee. Abs are nice and tight. Now you're going to suck in your tummy and try to flatten out your spine against the roller. And breathe. Stretch everything open. You may even feel the hip flexors on the left side opening up as you do this. Abs are nice and tight. If you want, you can take your left hand over the top of your head. We're going to hold this for a while. Okay, you can either roll out of this or put your feet flat on the ground. You can sit back up again, or you can just, pull your leg back behind you to get the other side. Any of the three options work, however you need to do it. Go back as far as you comfortably can go on this side. Notice if it's the same as the opposite side, or if it's deeper on one side or shallower. Suck in your tummy, keep your abs engaged. Go to whatever point you're comfortable at going to. You can keep your foot flat on the ground, or if you want to deepen stretch, cross your ankle over the top of your knee. Open up your hip, shoulder blades are down and back, you're sucking in your tummy. Keep breathing, keep your abs engaged. Jaws relaxed, smiles are up. Suck in that tummy, no pressure in your low back. Feel the lengthening of your quad muscles, especially at rectus femoris. And just feel the lengthening. Keep breathing. And whenever you feel ready, you could go feet flat on the ground. Just lay against your roller. Make sure those feet are parallel, knees are over tops of your feet. Shoulder blades are down and back. First, second, third chakras are on. Head's over top of your pelvic floor. And your hands are up to your sides. You stay there, I'm going to switch out the music. Keep breathing. As you're laying on the roller, feel what it feels like to have lengthened out. Feel the engagement your feet have with the ground. That was the whole point of today's class. Feel that core connection. Feel how your abs and your back and your hips have stabilized, especially those knees as we got to the core. The knees should feel very engaged and safe and solid. If for whatever reason you wake up tomorrow with back soreness because you're not used to using everything that much, you're just gonna do a basic figure four, bring your knee to your chest, and that'll open up your glute max, and that'll take all the pressure out of your low back because you won't have back pain, you will have tight butt pain. Just see what it feels like to breathe and what it feels like to connect. You guys stay on your roller. I'm going to come off the roller to bring you guys home. You guys did an amazing job, but just check in for this last few moments. Today I went through a whole process of going into a mindset that wasn't useful for me. I went into a place of scarcity. And it's the slow process of coming out of scarcity because scarcity is so charged, it has so much momentum in its favor. That switching back into abundance, openness, prosperity, health, and healing, service, is a softer train for this metaphor. And it takes a little bit more to get that momentum started because it is softer. So what I had to remember is that I am of service. It is my joy to give. And instead of worried about what I'm getting, how can I give and how can I give better? So I extend that out to you guys. How can I serve you guys better? Continuing that momentum forward. How can I be of service to you? So feel what it feels like to change the momentum. Feel the energy soften into receiving instead of doing. Moving away from the hardness of scarcity to the abundance of the gifts you've been given and sharing those. Thank you all so much for coming. And on behalf of Maria and me, Maria, who's still on the East Coast, we appreciate you. We love that you support us and you're present here with us and you're willing to do the crazy things we ask you to do. Thank you for being in our lives, and namaste.